Hari Om. 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 Hari Om.
Now I introduce you all with the last but definitely not the least speaker for the day, Ritukhurana. Welcome, Rituji. She is a Jyotish and Vastu consultant, served as an educator for more than 10 years. Since 2015, she has been under the mentorship of Pandit Sanjay Rath, studying in Parashar Jyotish course, Gemini Scholar Program, Mantra Shastra, and many more. She is a very warm person. Other than Jyotish and Vastu, she has been trained in Reiki. Her topic for today is Cikitsa Vastu. Rituji, your topic is very interesting. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you, Neeti. Thank you so much for this warm introduction. I just want to begin my presentation before I sing a small prayer for all of us. Astoma Satgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I want to give my humble pranam to our Guru, Pandit Sanjay Rath ji, Sharbani ji, and all the viewers. Namaskar from the heart. We all have seen how the world has moved around in 2019 and 20. It was a shaking thing, and today also we are still moving with that pendulum of physical, mental, and emotional distress. Deep distress, loss lead to pranic and jivic energy loss. Cikitsa Vastu is going to express how to heal, cure, repair the space around us without any mentorship. You can take mentorship, but still, we are quite capable of being very sensitive to the energies around which work positively or negatively. Very carefully, one have to be conscious and sensible to talk about Cikitsa Vastu. My topic, Cikitsa Vastu, serves aligning body, mind, and soul. How Cikitsa, which is curing and repairing the surrounding of the place where you as a Vastu is residing. A glimpse of traditional knowledge, because Vastu Shastra comes from tradition, old tradition, Indian old tradition, which goes far, far back, even in the Indus Valley and beyond that. This Shastra, which talks about the space, the form, and the text itself, is huge. It leads to many scriptures which describes about the books which serves us the knowledge of architecture, sculpture, carpentry, goldsmith, blacksmith, and so on. Some of the books I just want to share it with you, that are Amrkosh. You have Vishkarma Prakash, Agni Puran, Matsya Puran, Garud Puran, Vayu Puran, and even the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata speaks about how to create, how to make or design the Manushyale, Devale, and many other designs. Vastu. Coming to the understanding of the space. This is something which we should first, going to the main topic, understand what is the relation between a vastu and a vastu. Vastu is the one which you have a, a space, like me. At this moment, if I'm sitting on a chair, I'm a vastu and this chair becomes a vastu. My chair and table is a vastu and this room becomes a vastu. Same thing. If you hold a pen, your palm becomes the vastu and the pen becomes the vastu. So, understanding the relation between a vastu and a vastu, creating a vase for that vastu is actually discussing about the deep meaning of Vastu Shastra. So, if when we talk about the Shastra, first we need to understand the first parameter which talks about the Bhumi, the earth, which holds the energies around. When you make a constructive boundary around the around the Bhumi, they block the energies and the energy starts vibrating. Otherwise, in this earth, there are so many different kinds of energies. They do not vibrate. But when you construct an object around and you make a shape around, or you just give a boundary to it, it start vibrating. And that is the understanding of a relation between a vastu and a vastu. It can go to deeper with talking about the difference of relation with two-dimensional and three-dimensional. Objects need to be placed properly, and when we do the designing, it gives you an understanding of the design. Now, coming to the design of the space, going deep more into the subject, it reminds me about one story which I wanted to share about. This is actually from Mahabharata, when King Yudhishthir was given a space to create their own empire. The whole family, Yudhishthir and his five brothers and the wife, they all went to see the land. This land was Indraprasth. Indraprasth was a land when they stood over there to see. It was totally barren. They were shocked. What are they going to create over here? Which empire they are going to create? How they are going to create? It is so barren. When they were discussing and they were in grief and depression that what are they going to do, there came one man named as Maya, a person who wrote about Maya Matam, who wrote about the Indian architecture, the treaty of Indian architecture. He came and he said he can help them out. King Yudhishthir asked him, how can you help me? What is the credential? How do you know about the skill? He introduced himself. I am Maya. I am father of Mandodari, father-in-law of King Ravana, and I have created Lanka. The essence of my skill, please, I want to quote this again. He said, the essence of my skill is Bhogadyam, Sudarshanam, and Ramyam. These are the three main anchors, the three main anchoring principles where the whole Vastu based on. Bhogadyam is the utility. What is my utility? Sukh Darshanam, how I'm making my utility aesthetic to the surrounding. And when this utility and aesthetic to the surrounding, which is by use of colors, shapes, textures, light, and other things come, it gives you a beautiful proportion, a beautiful ratio. And when the ratio and proportion is absolutely fine, it gives you a delight, a delightful, a gladful feeling, which gives happiness to your mind and to your soul, is called as Ramyam. Oh, I'm so happy to see that beautiful thing. It gives me a feeling of Ramyam. You can see on my slide, I have placed a small cooler. In Indian tradition, when one of the finest architects from America came, his name was Charles, and his another architect brother named as Ray. They actually were the one who created and placed a milestone for National Institute of Designing. They said the beautiful aesthetic thing which they find appropriate in Indian tradition is cooler. How beautifully it is designed. See, it is a vastu, but when it holds a cup of tea for you, it becomes a vastu. It is so appropriate that it can come into anyone's hand. Anyone's hand can hold. The proportion is so good. And when you sip a tea, you do not burn your lips. So it is Ramyam. That is the definition of the Ramyam they gave it to the universe. Going further, when we talk about in detail about the anchoring and the principles of Vastu, let me make you clear about certain things. In today's world, we want to create certain houses. Maybe sitting in India, I want to create a house which looks in a magazine from Germany. I want to create the same house over here. Is it possible? It is not possible. One example I want to share it. This architect who was from Swiss, a French architect named as Lee Covers, he created the beautiful dream city, Chandigarh. Such a beautiful, such a magnificent. Everything was perfect. He was so feeling honored to create such a masterpiece like Chandigarh. We all appreciate, we all Indian and specifically we North Indian look to the development and the planning of Chandigarh. But where he made a mistake by creating the kitchen with a not a seating slab, but a standing counter. That was the biggest mistake. Indian tradition holds that the women always sit in the kitchen and do their cooking. And he never thought about it. He thought that Indian woman cannot hold his beautiful design. So this is how we need to understand what is the requirement. What is the requirement of the person, of the client, of the climate, of the space? When we understand these small things, we try to create a design which deals with alignment of body, space, and energy, which gives us the life system, energies, aesthetic, and proportion, which goes a long way, not in few years, it goes a long way. And India has so many examples where we have buildings which go long way because of those Vishkarma Prakash community who actually did a lot of work to create such benchmarks for us. I give my lot of honor to all those Shilpis, Vishkarma Prakash community, which was there right from the time of Indus Valley. They created so many buildings which are today also benchmark, and people who go in architect read it thoroughly. Vastu Shilp Shastra consists of textual data, oral knowledge, buildings, and they talk about other subsidiary fields. So what it means? It means that a person who is a Shilpkar should know the rhythm of music, should know the tal of dance, should know the chand of poetry, and should know the theater of the whole thing. It is that they are supposed to learn and go around with their knowledge in different fields. A carpenter should know what blacksmith does. A blacksmith should know what the goldsmith does. Manu was a very famous person in Shilpkar. Same was Maya. We all know those names who actually laid the stone of Vastu Shilp Shastra. I just want to go for the rule book, which actually will take you to give an understanding that what we understand by going for the site selection. Site selection, orientation is very important. Orientation of a structure is very important to actually select a site. What is the shape of the site? Where is the slope going? My dear friend, I've read in many books which talks about that slope going to north is beneficial, slope going to east is beneficial. No, my dear friends, even the slope going to south and not up is also beneficial. But for certain communities, it is not important that it will be harming others. It depends upon which community is staying there and what use they are going to make from that slope. It also depends upon the geography of the on a hill. If the slope is towards north, it's good. But if the slope is towards south, it is not good. No, it is good because the climate and the geography is going to give you a benefit on that. Observation and understanding of natural element. When we designers go, we need to observe. In today's world, people call you for site selection, give you half an hour and say, ma'am, select the best site for me. How is it possible? In our tradition, six months, the Vastu Shilpkar used to go and observe, put a shanku over there, see the sundial, and then they used to walk and say that this is good or not. Examining the roadside, which is very important, testing the soil. Nowadays, we ignore everything and we simply jump into buying a ready-made houses. With these kind of things, definitely you do not get the benefit of that Shastra, which is called as Vastu Shastra. The pranic energy and the jivic energy and the urjas are not balanced. We need to understand how important it is for each and everything going by parameter to make us understand what is Vastu Shastra and Vastu Shastra Mandala. When you create a boundary around, the energies which are vibrating inside form 45 celestial bodies, and those have their own features, they have their own way of dealing with the occupants present in the house. This particular slide is actually the crux and the essence of the whole thing which I have said till now. It says, bring nature inside your universe. Means wherever you are staying, whichever city you are, you need to bring the nature inside. You cannot have a plastic kind of environment in your house. Random rules, placing objects within a space. Why I said so? Because nowadays people call the designers and they say, sir or ma'am, can you help us to tell us where should I put my refrigerator? Where I'm going to place a TV? Oh my God, where are my wardrobes going to go? Are we making designs for all these objects to be placed? We need to think. We need to remove the mental blockage of this and go in touch with those traditional thoughts which are being given to us by these Shilpkas, these communities. Now I want to share the case study which I have been following from 2015-16. This is an introduction about the case study. Mr. Vikas Manocha and Kokila Manocha, they bought a flat in 2012, means 2012. But they didn't go into that flat. They just, they bought this flat, flat 241. They bought it in 2012. And they never went into this flat. They just purchased it and left it. No rent a person was there. Nobody was there. But in 2014-15, this flat was given to their family member, the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law stayed in the house for a couple of months. Now, what was the condition of the sister-in-law? She was suffering from cancer. And when she was suffering from cancer, she was left out by her own family and she was in grief and suffering. The house, which was already not being used by anyone, holded the vibration and the space of the sister-in-law who was suffering in grief. She died in that apartment. Now, friends, do you think the impression of her grief was not there around the flat? Yes, it was there. Then in 2016, the family purchased another flat, which was 242. Vikas purchased the other flat, 242, and joined both the apartments. If you see, The previous flat also, I have marked very clearly the Brahmsthan. The Brahmsthan was affected. It was coming under a wall. If you see the next flat also, the Brahmsthan was affected, which I have denoted as Nabi. Now he created a complete flat. Okay, he broke the wall from this area and he created a complete flat. This was a flat number 241. This was flat number 242. He created the flat. He broke and changed the design. But do you think the tattvas which are supposed to get balanced in the house did got balanced? No, they didn't got balanced. The impression of the pain and the grief was still there. Check the number of this flat. 241 ends up with Ketu. 242 ends up with Shani. So they were using both the address and both the numbers. What was my observation? Merger of two units into one apartment is not a difficult as regard to designing, but to balance the inner space was a very hard nut to crack. Panch Tattva was imbalanced in the house. Rectification of the Nabi and the Brahmsthan was critical. They still use both the numbers in their address, which was quite crucial. One adds to 8 and another adds to 7. Together they created Saturn Ketu Yoga for themselves. What was the remedy which we started and finally got a lot of relief? Why? Because this person who was now staying in this house suffered from cancer. The woman of the house was having depression, and the male of the house came in the house and within a year started having cancer issues. The critical Vastu was there and need Cikitsa over there. Cikitsa Vastu helped to create harmony, progress, and peace in the mind. What was the first remedy given? Space clearance. Now in North India, we every time whenever we have to clear the space, we do chaliha, that is for 40 days. Chaliha is the word used in North India, that whatever you're doing, you're going to a divine or creating a puja, homa, you do it for the 40 days. So space clearance was given in their house for 40 days, which purified, and the man of the house, Vikas Manucha, got a relief. Second thing which we did was planting tulsi on all the corners of the house and giving them Naksatra plant. Tulsi creates a lot of purification. Tulsi gives a lot of suppress from the negative energies, and it also gives a new energy boomed out. It gives you a lot of remedies from the negative things which are going around your space. So just planting tulsi gives you a lot of help. Now, when I came across Vastu and I met my guru, I came to know that 40 days, whatever purification we were doing, is actually a part of Yantra, Mantra, and Tantra, which is called a procedure which gives lot of healing to the people who are in disease. It is a simple method for bringing the large and cosmic energy into the space and into its in ourselves. Means that even if a person is in grief, distress, or disease, if you do this purification, it helps you to get aligned with the divine power. How to do this? You have to pick up a sandhi. Sandhi is either the portion in dusk or in dawn. You pick up any time, early morning, late evening, and you pick up 5 different tattva elements. You pick up flowers, you pick up navedyam, you pick up diya, you pick up sandalwood paste, and you collect 5 different tattvas and place it on the altar. You call your divine and just show your gratitude. In Hindi and Sanskrit, it's called as shukrana. We do gratitude. Give your gratitude, and by this, the divine gets synced with the divine. Just chant whatever you want, whatever your religion permits. You can chant, you can thanks for whatever you have received, and then slowly just tell the divine to help you in the matter which you want. If you repeat this for 42 to 49 days, the whole mandala of the house get clears, and you get support in repairing your health, in repairing your space. So in this particular case, what I came to understand was that it is very important, even if the designs are weak in your house, the vastu is not properly aligned. Still, if you heal the space energy, you get immense result, which can further lead you to repair yourself. I just want to speak about Nabhi, because you see, in the apartment which we were discussing about, there was one more rectification required, was the Nabhi. The Nabhi of the house, or the Brahmsthan, was coming and touching to the entry door. It was touching to the entry door. So the Nabhi was required to be rectified. Now, what is Nabhi? Nabhi is the center point. When you make a grid, there are 4 marma points, very strong marma points in the grid. One over here, other over here, third over here, and fourth. So these 4 marma points around the Brahmsthan are the super sensitive marma points. We should not have any wall over there, no pillar, or no sharp object should be there. Otherwise, it creates immense problem. So the house was also having a little problem in Brahmsthan, which need to be rectified. Now, going more deeper into Brahmsthan and talking about our traditional, the courtyards in Indian traditional houses were always kept open. You can go now, not in North India, but yes, in South India, still you can find there are so many different places where they follow the same architect pattern as it was done in the traditional way. So this Brahmsthan, they keep it open. Why? Because the energy of Purush comes and get assimilated to the energy of Shakti. The Shiva, the cosmic energy, comes and get assimilated to the Shakti, which is of Bhu energy. And here the inner, the inner and the outer energies, they get, the inner energy covers the outer energy, and the outer energy covers the inner energy, and the whole house moves into a best way. The vastu of the house gets rectified every day. Third was, the first we did was the space correction. Second we did was the Brahmsthan correction. And third what we did was the Ayadi Vastu. It was very nice that my clients were interested in Ayadi Vastu, and they wanted this Ayadi calculation to be done for them, which gave them a lot of relief. This is, I'm not going to teach you Ayadi, but yes, I'm going to give you a bit glimpse about it. Ayadi Vastu is done on calculations. Calculations which are from the Karta. Who was the Karta? Karta used to be, in Indian tradition, used to be the grandfather and the grandmother, the senior members of the family. They were Karta. So when the Ayadi was done, we used to take the Karta, means the male, Yajman's Nakshatra and Yajman's wife Nakshatra, and we make calculations. Sorry. The calculation for the Ayadi, just let me have water. Yes. So the Ayadi calculations were done in 6 points: Nakshatra, Aya, Vaya, Yoni, Amsha, and the day one, which is the Varam. These calculations help us to come to a ratio a ratio, a perimeter to be used for the house. We need to have a perimeter, and we cannot go blind to the perimeter. We need to have some calculation which we can rectify and get rectify based on the karta's nakshatra and based on the female of the house, yajman and yajmani's nakshatra. These are the formulas. We are not going into the formulas, but yes, I want to tell you that the nakshatra should be more friendly when the whole parameter comes. And let me show here. Now, how we do it, as I took it for Mr. Vikas Manocha, we took the hasta. I'm sorry. We took the hasta. Hasta is what? The measurement from the finger goes to the elbow. This is the hasta. This is the measurement which we used to take it in the olden tradition way. The yajman and the yajmani nakshatra was taken. The perimeter of the house was taken, and we made some calculation. These are the personal calculation which I did it for the family. So this case we sorted out in this way, and this was the Cikitsa Vastu we did for the first case. I want to share with you the second case. Case 2. This is a case where I literally worked very hard to give them a relief. Mr. Jatin Malik and Shweta Malik. This family, in brief, I just want to share it. This family had this house purchased in 2011 and 12, and the house Vastu was a big defect. Why? They had south entry, but with issue, means a straight T zone was coming direct into the house. There was opening in the garden area of south and open ramp. So means the house was totally shifted. The constructed area was going towards north, northeast and not towards south. South was a lot open, which was actually opposite to the rules of Vastu. Brahmsthan, there was a huge staircase going. So the Brahmsthan was also affected. Kitchen in northeast and big generator in northeast. These were the information which I got, because I've never seen this house. This was the house which actually created a lot of destruction in their life. The destruction was that Jatin Malik had cancer. The father left the house. The male means the Jatin Malik's father left the house, and the mother died in depression in the house within 6 years. I was called when they purchased this land. The house was made, and you know, destiny plays its own role. Here also, unknowingly, they created a huge toilet area in the Brahmsthan, and they were still in problem. As they called me, we first did the space clearance, because I do not jump into renovation and breaking of things. It can cause lot of destruction to the family, as the family is already in trouble. So here also the Brahmsthan was corrupt. In short, I just want to tell you that when the Brahmsthan is affected, more and more problems are invited. And here also they were in trouble. When we did the space healing, there was some relief to the family. And beside doing the Ayadi for the whole house, we plan to do Ayadi for the door. This is a concept from the south. In Kerala and Tamil Nadu, Ayadi concept is still being worked. And Tamil Nadu, the people do work on the Ayadi of the main gate, which is very interesting. I was surprised to know when I was going through the studies of Ayadi from my mentor, the person told me that this one gate, Ayadi, when you make correction, gives relief to 3 generations. That's why the Ayadi for Ayadi, the grandparents' hasta was taken. So I'm not going into too much detail about the Ayadi. I just want to tell you that you have to take the perimeter of the door and make the changes based on the nakshatra of the couple. We got a lot of relief from the couple, and even their temple, we did it according to the right proportion of the owners. 5 hastas of the husband and 4 hastas of the wife, with one full length of the male of the house should be the unit of the altar or the temple, which give miraculous results to the family. Now, beside going into the Ayadi, I just want to give you small other things which give a lot of to the the people who want to offer these Cikitsa Vastu reliefs. If you check, you can see the Nakshatra and the animal symbols given over here. Animal brings luck, definitely. If you are Ashwini Nakshatra, horse is the symbol. Satvisha also, horse is the symbol. Bharani, Revati, the elephant is the symbol. And how about Mula and Adra? Oh my God, dog is the symbol. So if they have dog in the house, the dog will bring luck to them. Ashlesha and Punarvasu can have cat. So what is it that if you do not bring animals like horse, elephant, nobody can bring. What you can do is you can create a sculpture, or you can create a wooden sculpture and put it on the door, which gives protection to you, which brings luck. The next thing which I want to add in Cikitsa Vastu is the Homa. Now, everyone says that we know Homa. What is so big about it? Indian tradition, most of the families do Homa. But when we use it for Cikitsa, Homa becomes different. How? Homa is taking 5 elements: ghee, akshad, sesame seeds, kapoor, and a little bit of samagri. If you add them and do Homa early in the morning in the east or southeast, it gives immense resource to the site, to the space. Now, when we are working on the site, we have to take care that the site function works easily. There should be no obstruction, and there should be no halt when the construction is going on. So this space clearance is done according to this small agenda, which is dealing with Homa in east and southeast. The ladies can do this east Homa every day before they go to the kitchen, because it adds a lot of Surya blessings to the house. Balancing your house with vriksha. That is something very surprising. Why? Because, do you remember, even the ancient books, they all talk about that how the trees and plants for long have been held sacred to the community throughout the world. The worship of the trees and the plants in an ancient phenomena in India, they feature in myths and other ritual things. Ancient texts like Agni Puran, Mayamatam, Gad Samhita, Vastu Pradeep, and various other texts, they all speak about Vriksha. If you remember, in Ramayana also, when Sri Ram was in deep grief and Sita was kidnapped by Ravan, Ram was in deep grief and he went and holded all the trees around in his grief and was crying and sobbing for the wife. So what it shows, when the Lord itself finds warmth in the trees, how warm these trees can bring to our house. That is the part which plays of Vriksh Vastu. Agni Devta in Agni Puran state Palash in north, Avla in northeast, Banyan in east, pomegranate in southeast, Udambar in south, tamarind in southwest, people in west, and bilva in northwest are considered auspicious. Trees which can be planted in any direction are neem, pomegranate, ashoka tree, flowering plants, and others can be placed in different direction. Now, I have seen certain areas where people have huge land and they build up their house in one corner, leaving the whole land empty. Then they say that, oh, we left north and east empty. Why we are not getting the benefit of the Shastra? It is because you left the whole area empty like a barren land. To balance your land, you need to put trees so that there is a complete movement of nature around your house and you do not feel that there is no energy in the house. These trees bring blessing. Even if you are aware of different trees which are there of nakshatra, they bring blessing to your mind, to your body, and to your soul. Hibiscus is a beautiful plant which works wonder in north, east, and west. But we do not put hibiscus in southeast because southeast is a very strong Agni Kund. Hibiscus doesn't work over there. In Indian traditional houses, plants play a lot of role. And tulsi, which people say basil, but basil is not tulsi. Vrinda Devi is placed in the Brahmsthan and is being done with rituals of puja on tulsi early in the morning. My dear friends, it's it's a fact that puja in the morning on Vrinda Devi, just putting on the shrine of this area, putting a small diya and sprinkling some water on Vrinda Devi gives immense blessing to the house and the occupants of the house. Auspicious trees to be planted are like palak, Shrifal, lotus, drumsticks can be planted anywhere. Christmas and almond tree can be planted in southwest because it gives a lot of stability. South and southwest feels a lot of stability with these plants. This is the third case, which I just want to show without getting in touch with this client, just on Zoom meeting, how the whole Cikitsa work, especially I'm referring to the Yantra Mantra Tantra Cikitsa, where the clearance was done. I'm not revealing the identity, but this was the first message which I received from one of the person who gave me this particular case. It says that I wanted to ask your opinion about the consultancy. A friend of mine who has purchased a new house had problem with insects. For 6 months, rats, flies, and everyone is troubling. And later, when it was very difficult not going to the site and then not having proper information, this lady was not easy to even communicate because the ladies was a Japanese ladies and she was a single parent. There was a strong what do you say, the faith was also not there, and there was a strong barrier in communication, but still the hope was there that yes, some relief this tradition can give it to her. So the inner space was not properly balanced. When the inner space is not properly balanced, such your house invites certain insect creatures and you are already troubled by it. Now, when I saw the layout plan and try to grade it, it is very favorable because I was not able to get the whole information. I just created for you. So in the Brahmsthan, the entry, let me show you. The entry goes from here, and this is the center of the house where I'm cutting the grid. So there were two toilets, and the lady placed a boiler here. The entrance goes from this side, and the boiler is there. As soon as she made the renovation and placed the boiler there, she came across several other problems. She met with an accident. There was a penalty given to her. Even the people who were giving the department which was giving her signature of okay, the plan is okay and her designing is fine for the new house, they also put their foot down and they said, we will come and check your design. We find some fault in this. And the lady was in panic. In from this distance, we couldn't help any much. But yes, as seeing the plan, I could understand that this yantra mantra tantra can help her. The same remedy was given because she was not in a condition to do any further remedies or any further renovation. This yantra mantra was very difficult to follow because the lady first she said, I do not have altar, I do not pray, I don't know how to do it. So pushing was more and counseling was more with her. 45 days continuously pushing her, and things changed. When she got faith and she got some light, there was a lot of relief from my side. You know, when certain things happen like this, even we as a consultant, our faith gets rock solid. We really feel good about it. And the lady, when she gave me a call, she was chirpy, she was content. That single parent lady was so happy. I don't know how she is going through now because we don't have a connection. The last connection was that. So I just wanted to put whatever I have given in this whole presentation, wanted to make it clear to you that everyone with these divine messages, we can get connected and we can purify. But we need to be more dedicated. We should have faith in all these traditions, which give lot of relief to the space. And when the space gets relief, the occupant gets relief. When I was doing mantra shas, Guruji taught us likhit jap. I used to do likhit jap, but then I incorporated this also with my clients. Whatever difficulty they have, they used to do likhit jap. And when they used to start with it, they had a lot of confusion, lot of blockage. But as they used to finish with that, their confusion used to get solved. So thank you. Thank you for giving us this. I incorporate this also in my Vastu. Auspicious symbols work wonderfully. It is not only that you should be from Hindu religion. You might be from Jain religion. You might be from Buddhist religion. You pick up your auspicious symbol, place them in your house, place them in your office. They work wonderfully. They give you a message of divine and make you get connected every moment whenever you will have a sight on them or whenever you have a gaze on them. I'm very strong to love the tradition. And here I want to tell you how these ladies in South still we have, but this culture is so phenomenal. Putting kolam in front of the door brings divine. You know, friends, kolam is right from starting from the tradition 3,000 years back. The kolam was being done, and today also the ladies are in South, most probably they do it. Even the rangoli is done in the West also, and part of Gujarat also. If you do a bit of little labor to make your door nice with a small design of a kolam or rangoli, you bring divine energy to your house. And bringing divine energy is more important than fetching a lot of money. I hope wealth will not give you anything, as the divinity is going to give. So I thank you all for being so patient to me and listening to me. Thank you. My whole heart regards to you all. Thank you.
Wow, Rituji, what a wonderful session. Such a priceless information. In this pandemic time, Cikitsa Vastu is very important tool for all of us. Thanks for your remedies and Vastu tips. They're very useful and easy to do. I will also make kolam today.
Thank you, Diti. I'm so sorry, my throat was getting a little dry because virtual energy is not for me. I'm a person who loves to be in people and get the energy. And sitting into this room has actually changed this Vastu's Vastu. So I'm sorry for those tidbits over here. I hope everyone can take the benefit. And I'm just a person who is holding the culture, and as much people can benefit, I will be thrilled. And I thanks all the whole tradition who has given us so much. I'm really a proud Indian to say that I am an Indian and I hold that tradition in my heart.
Thank you. Thank you, Rituji. Dear audience, thank you so much for your attention, your patience, and your time. I thank all of you to be part of this conference. Thank you, all the speakers, for such interesting knowledgeable sessions. Hope audience have enjoyed this session. We will continue tomorrow with more interesting topic and with our prestigious speakers. Kindly join tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Om Guruve Namah.